Ansungna je kon phot chigin ini pray ha.
Verse 13 onwards tell us how we must deal with temptation.
Phot chigin tamne ansungna mai kai dakma je ni ko chagrong gen yani yun agana.
James begins with this fascinating word.
Jacob yana namin mangsa ga sibu ka kakko abachinga.
Verse 13 says, when tempted.
Dakma nige James lo dakma John ke bachi phot chigin tamo agana.
Now I know there could be a bit of a difference in the translation.
Haina ya English to mang garo mang dimbadi ba tansi tentang na ba donga.
But in the original language, this is the idea that James is presenting.
Diba abachingo jikon maksongi chesem yako tade Jacob para ganinga.
James is using the word when tempted.
Jacob ganinga James lo dakma John ko chagronga.
He is not using the word if tempted.
Dakma Jodi bako biya ganja.
There is a difference between if and when.
Ongode aro basakoba hingapati namin tentanga.
When you use the word if, it means it is conditional.
If ba basak kadi ongode hingapati yan may ba pangchakani donga.
You may or may not be tempted.
Haida namko dakma John na ba donga dakma John rejana ba donga.
But James is essentially saying that you will be tempted.
Diba Jacob ganinga na dakma John ko mangen.
If not today, then tomorrow.
Tarong jabak ngalo.
But sooner or later, you will feel the pull of sin on your life.
And
in some sense, James wants us to be prepared for that. You see, if you know who your enemy is, if you know what his tactics are, you can be better prepared to defend yourself. And that is precisely the idea that James wants to convey over here. He says when you are ready to know your enemy, you are ready to fight him. So remember, temptation is something that we all will face on this side of eternity. But when we get to the other side, in the presence of God, there will be no sin. There will be no power of sin. There will be no hold of sin over your life and my life. But till then, we have to struggle with this reality. And so James says, when tempted, no one should say that God is tempting me. You see, temptation does not come from God. Anything that is wrong does not come from God. Because God's character is good. And everything that He does is good. He may send trials our way. But there is a world of a difference between a trial and a temptation. A trial comes to build you up. A temptation comes to break you down. And so God allows us to go through difficult times. But that is because He wants your faith to be built. Devil brings temptation because he wants to destroy your faith. And then James goes on to give us a second thing about temptation. In verse 14 he says this. He says, when each one is tempted. The second thing that James teaches us about temptation is this. He says, your temptation is different from the other's temptation. You see, what I struggle with, you may not struggle with that. What your struggles are may not be my struggle. And so one of the biggest mistakes we can do is we can look at the other person and judge him. We can judge him on the basis of our standard. What the things that we don't do, when we look at other people doing it, we may put them down. But what we forget is that all of us struggle with temptation in one way or the other. And so James very clearly tells us that each one of us has a different set of temptation. And we must never look down on others because of our standard.
Ini iban ansing satu pun babang sarba chone abai chondik na be maina ansing antang tang dia beda unja China.
The ultimate standard that God has set for us is His Son.
Isuni standard mansade uni depan desa wa.
And the truth of the matter is that none of us can ever reach it.
Aru ansing sakal jen ibuda dong nade manja.
It is only when God comes in our lives through and in the person of Jesus that we stand complete in righteousness. I mentioned this the other day. That our righteous acts are like filthy rags in the eyes of God.
The
best that you have to offer is like a filthy rag in God's eyes. Because every inclination of our heart is tainted by sin. You see, even when we want to do good, we are in some way seeking pride for ourselves. Even when we want to do good, it is in some sense attached with evil. But it is only what we do in the power of Jesus that has its eternal significance. And so James makes this point very, very clear. He says, you will be tempted. Your temptation may be different from the temptation of your neighbor. But nevertheless, all will be tempted. And then from verse 14, James gives us three aspects of temptation. And I want to present these three aspects before you. You know, the first thing he says is, each one is tempted when by his own evil desires. You know, where does sin begin? Sin begins in our desire. And the word that James uses over here is evil desire. You see, all desires are not evil desires. The desires that we have are God-given. When God created man and woman, He gave them certain desires. These desires are a gift from God. But when we take these desires outside the boundary of God, they become evil. So here's how the devil works. He takes that which is good and he takes it outside the boundary of God's will, and it becomes evil. A simple example I can give you. You may have seen rust that comes on iron. Rust. You know, this rust doesn't appear all by itself. It will always appear on iron. Iron that has been good at some point of time, but it has corroded or has become bad over a period of time. You see, that is what the devil does. He takes that which God has said to be good, but he takes it outside of God's boundary and it becomes evil. Let me give you another example. Imagine there's a bowl kept over here. And there is a fish inside the bowl. Now the fish looks at another big bowl which is bigger. And he says, I want to jump into the bigger bowl. So he jumps into the bigger bowl. Then he looks at a swimming pool, a big pool of water. And he says, I want more freedom, so I want to jump in the big pool.
Anga jakete longna skau ni man anga yang tambat ko pokri nanga yang skagen belang ska.
And so the fish jumps into the big pool.
Aro nathok ka tambat ko pokri na belanga ha.
Then the fish looks at the ocean.
Aro ni jaman nathok ko sagal ko nakat ska ha.
And he says, the ocean is bigger than this pool. Let me jump in the ocean.
Daudi wa chungba sagal mata ipne ocean ke ba ulana dar biar nakat ska ha.
And so he jumps into the ocean.
Daudi wa sagal dalgepo na biar belang ska ha.
Now the fish looks at the land.
Daudi nathok ko ako nakat ska ha.
And he says the land is much bigger than the ocean.
Daudi hari phanchine bo donga ye na ya an dar sagal na bata.
Let me jump on the land.
Daudi anga chiuni ya agaw na bedogono.
Because there is no freedom.
Maino na bangbata chaktere ko mangen.
What happens when the fish jumps out of the water and lands on land?
Amay ongyen jen salo saya nathok ko sagalo ni nigit agaw na bedoin donga ngode.
It will die.
Pasigen.
You know, though it is restricted in water, it has freedom.
Though it
is confined in a certain place, it can live. And that's the same with God's law. When God gives us a boundary, when God tells us to live within certain laws, it is not because He wants to take the joy of doing things, but He wants us to live and enjoy it. A fish will live only in water. You and I will only live in Christ. The moment we try to find freedom outside of Jesus Christ, we will die. You go back to Genesis chapter 3. You remember the story of Adam and Eve and the serpent? You remember how the devil comes and tempts Adam and Eve? You know, God had told Adam and Eve, you can eat of any fruit. The entire Garden of Eden is under your dominion. But this one fruit you are forbidden. And you know what Adam and Eve did? They went and ate exactly that one fruit that they were not supposed to eat. You know, human beings have that tendency. You know, they want to do the very thing that they have been told not to do. There was an experiment done many years ago. There was a bench that was kept. And there was a card put on the bench. And it was written, do not touch wet paint. And there was a camera that was put over there. You know what happened as people went by? Majority of the people reached out and touched to see whether it was wet. You know, that's human heart. Even our own children. You tell them don't do it, that is exactly what they will do. You know, that is the way we are brought up. And that is where the devil tries or hunts us. He takes our desires and he takes it outside the boundary of God's will. James says that's where temptation begins. He then goes on to give us the second step. He says it begins with desire, but then it moves to deception. Look at the next part of verse 14. He says, he is dragged and enticed. Two words James uses over here. He says he's dragged and he's enticed. Now both these words come from the fishing and the hunting world. Now I'm sure you're familiar with fishing. When you have to fish, what do you do? If you take a hook and you throw it into the water, do you think a fish will come along and say, this hook looks tasty, let me eat it? Absolutely not. What do you have to do?
Ini nasi mai ko daken.
You have to put a bait.
Ini mai ko ben tunan angano.
You have to put some food.
Chani ko tunan angano.
And the fish comes and bites into the food.
Aron atokpa ibeno chani ko sa dale chikap kano.
Not knowing that the hook is inside the food.
Nengachi mersi dongan ni igi jawa chikap ken.
You know, James is saying that is how sin operates.
Sakoppan dege naganega phapan degen kham kha.
Sin will never tell you the consequence.
Phapti mamang salboni namgi jawa agan jawa.
The devil will never tell you of the consequence of what will happen.
Saitan ne mamang salboi namgi jani mai ongen ko agan jawa.
He will always show you the brighter side.
Ndi ba wa di ya ora phangnan chingbat ke box mai soken.
The thrill of committing a sin.
Ini ban chini phapo karen dege wa.
The joy of doing something that is forbidden.
Mai jikun benga ha dare ko dakna khushi ngani daki mai soka.
But often when you step out of God's will,
Ani ba James salo ansang isolis Skiani ne ansang riama.
there is a consequence.
Yani bithe doma.
No matter what joy you experience for a moment,
Was bitik sana mai daki khushi ngano mai ja.
in the long run it will always harm you.
Ani ba baruta prashini jabano yani sakna ko margen.
Moses said this in the Old Testament.
Niam kecham Mose na kya gana.
He said, your sin will hunt you down.
Nangni phap nangko sika nangko amme margen.
No matter what sin you have committed, you have to pay a price of it one day.
Na mai phapo khau na phangsa gani khina chansa gamna nangin.
The devil will never tell you that.
Ya ko saitan mamang salo ba gan jawa.
Temptation will never talk about it.
Ya betakma jubo ya mamang salo ba gan jawa.
It will try to deceive you.
Ero din nangko thosa tholap ken.
The second word that James uses over here,
Gini ke pa yana jakop ni agano ni degyo
it comes from the hunting word.
Yan dari sikar khaga ba kada uska.
Again, if you want to hunt something,
James salo matto rongo nasimang sikar khao ni.
you have to keep some kind of bait for it.
To yan pa mai ko ba ching dongen.
You know, if you want to catch a lion,
Anching ada de haira singho bol nas ka mo de.
you'll have to keep some fresh meat.
Tuna haira anching ben gitar po na nangen.
And when the lion gets the smell of the meat,
James salo ben is man ko singho biya ha.
in some sense, all its senses are shut down.
Ini man bai pa takim na iya pisong smedani ko wija ha.
It does not realize the danger it is walking in.
Wano dalde mai ba khengini dongani na wija.
You know, the devil will often bring temptation in that way.
Ndakin dalde dia monde anchang takma jani ko rabara.
It shuts down all our senses.
Anching ni mai bas smedani ra ko biya ba niki dontong achenge.
We do not know what is right and wrong.
Anching mamang po wija biya ngamong ja.
One of the best examples I can give you from the Old Testament
Mungsa nampat ke ba thoya garan ni or niam na chamni ko avanas ka je.
is this man called Samson.
Samson mangpa mande yonga.
Samson was the strong man.
Samson na ben black pa mande yonga.
Physically, he was very, very well built.
Na ya ben di bang na ben beram ni chanang pa nga.
But as strong